Hey guys, I'm Law, and welcome back to the video. This is a new what if of what if Asta, Yuno, and Noelle were sent to the world of My Hero Academia. Anyways, hope you enjoy.
Asterisk pant asterisk asterisk pant asterisk asterisk pant asterisk. Came the heavy exhausted breaths of a very injured Asta in his Devil Union form, covered with bruises and open wounds from head to toe, doing everything in his power not to pass out from the amount of damage he received from the enemy in front of him. Beside him from both his left and right side was an equally injured and stamina-drained Yuno and Noelle, with Yuno in his full Saint Stage Spirit Dive form and Star Magic activated, and Noelle in a stronger version of her Valkyrie dress, after she got to keep some of Undin's Spirit Dive power. In front of them was the King of the Devil himself in his half-manifestation form, Lucifero, the ruler of the underworld. Despite the fact Lucifero still had overwhelmingly more magic than the Light Triad, and even after defeating the captains of the Clover Kingdom, he still received some damage as the fight from the three magic knights continued, which only served to piss off the King of Devils even more. Thinking to himself, how dare he be touched by these filthy peons? I'm not done yet. Asta would yell out with as much resolve and strength as he could muster, not backing down even when facing the King of Devils, a being who had the power to destroy the world. Neither are we. Neither are we. Yuno and Noelle would yell out at the same time as they would all begin to charge forward, with Yuno using his star magic to teleport both him and Noelle around Lucifero to try and distract him in order for Asta to get a clean hit. You filthy pieces of trash. Lucifero would yell out in frustration and rage, as not only was his full manifestation interrupted, but also the fact that these lowly humans would dare try to defy him. From that cursed woman who was absorbing his magic, then these so-called strongest mags of the Clover Kingdom, and then him. The anti-magic brat, the root of all of his problems. Lucifero was more than just furious, as he actually had to go all out to defeat these peons. As Asta was getting closer, Lucifero would use his gravity magic to raise the ground of the battlefield high up, making Asta slam to the ground and halting Yuno and Noelle's teleportation around Lucifero. Begone! Lucifero yelled as he repelled the ruble from all directions, sending the rocks as large as buildings towards Yuno, Asta and Noelle at such speeds they could barely dodge or deflect most of them by the skin of their teeth. Shit, I only have 15 seconds with Devil Union, I can barely find an opening, much less guard against this beast. No, I have to attack, I have to surpass my limits. Asta would think to himself as he was suddenly bombarded with memories from Lieb. Asta sees and goes through all of Lieb's memories from when he left the underworld to the moment Lucifero killed Licita. Asta's mind. Asta was then standing in an endless white void that seemed to stretch for miles, with the only person being him and Lieb. Lieb was a few feet away from where Asta was standing and was on his knees crying out in frustration. Why? Why did that have to happen? Why did Licita have to die? If only I was stronger, if only I had magic, if only I never met Licita, then she wouldn't have died. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mom. Lieb would sob out his frustration, thinking he may not be strong enough to beat Lucifero and avenge Licita. Lieb, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you had to go through that. I was the only person in the world that didn't have magic, so I also faced hardships, but it's because of those we were able to meet. Asta would say, walking up to Lieb. I'm grateful to have met you, Lieb. I can't defeat Lucifero alone, but together we can do it. Let's do this as brothers. Asta would say, smiling with his hand out towards Lieb. Yeah, let's do this as brothers. Lieb would compose himself and take Asta's hand. Outside Asta's mind. 6 seconds remaining. Lucifero sent a punch towards Asta's face, fully intending on obliterating his head open, but was completely surprised and caught off guard with Asta catching his punch without budging, and also Asta had a fifth horn on his forehead, with his hair now completely pitch black instead of the very dark grey in Devil Union. He's nullifying my magic within the area, Lucifero would think to himself. Lucifero didn't have time to react to the kick that came from Asta, sending him flying across the battlefield. Yuno, Noelle now. Asta would yell. 5 seconds remaining. Understanding what Asta meant, both Noelle and Yuno would charge at Lucifero side by side to perform a combination attack spell, pouring almost all of the magic power into this, Attack with Yuno, even subconsciously using his magic stone pendant to draw as much mana as possible. Combination magic, Sea Dragon Spirit Storm. Noelle and Yuno yelled side by side, with Yuno his hand raised, the same with Noelle's lance, as they combined their notable attacks to create a water sea dragon that shot out a magic beam made of condensed wind and water magic, that acted like a large laser moving at such insane speeds towards the Devil King. Lucifero tried to block the attack, but his chest was damaged, and his guard was broken, sending him back, which was the perfect opportunity for Asta to cover the distance between him and Lucifero, and cut his arms off with his demon slasher sword. 4 seconds remaining. Lucifero flew back to give himself some distance between him and Asta. He would then use his gravity magic to send large rocks at Asta and lift the ground up to block Asta's path, however would dodge them with a lot more ease in blinding speeds that he left after images. Asta brought out his demon destroyer sword, now dual-wielding both the slash and destroyer sword, and was quickly closing the distance between him and Lucifero. 3 seconds remaining. You useless piece of filth, you all dare defy, I will destroy you until there's nothing left, Lucifero would scream in rage as he would send down larger rocks at Asta, who would easily dodge them. Not only that, but he almost forgot about the 2 royals sneaking behind him, getting a few good hits, but they were barely able to leave a noticeable scratch. It didn't matter though, Yuno and Noelle knew that this would all be over soon. 2 seconds remaining. Asta was now in front of Lucifero, fully intent on ending this. Lucifero's gravity wasn't an option, so the Devil King tried to use a kick, but Asta would dodge with a front, bringing his demon destroyer up and slicing Lucifero's chest, enough to damage him and weaken his magic, but not enough to destroy his heart. 1 second remaining. The only one useless here is you. Asta yelled as he used his demon slasher sword to give a final horizontal slash across Lucifero, severing his heart in the process and cutting Lucifero in half, killing the King of Devils. Pant pant we won pant Asta would pant out. He was so exhausted and his body was in so much damage and strain from the fight that he could barely stand or even say a word. Asta turned to see Yuno and Noelle slowly walking towards him, both of them out of their transformations, equally damaged and tired from the fight. Despite that, they still held victorious smiles on their faces. "We did it," Noelle would say to no one in particular as she looked to see the Devil King's lifeless body slowly turn to dust. "Yeah, now we can all go home," Yuno would say, smiling at the outcome. "Yep, now I'm one step closer to becoming the Wizdash." Asta didn't get to finish his sentence as Lucifero's negative mana was swelling across the battlefield, fluctuating the gravity around the area and distorting the space around the 3 magic knights. "What's going on?" Asta asked, alarmed as he noticed Lucifero's ki swelling up and becoming abnormally unstable. He knew Lucifero was dead but didn't know what was going on with his body, so he turned to his 2 friends who were equally as confused and alarmed at the current outcome. "Isn't Lucifero defeated?" Noelle asked in shock. "Guys, get down!" Yuno yelled as he put up a weakened barrier using his star magic with the little remaining mana he had. Boom! Came an explosion and a very bright light from where the 3 magic knights were, scattering dust and debris across the area. When the dust settled, the 3 magic knights who defeated Lucifero were gone without a single trace in the area. Unknown area. Beep beep. My head hurts, what happened, where am I? Pink eyes would slowly open from a beeping sound invading her eardrums. The girl blinked a couple of times and her eyes adjusted to the light coming from the window. The girl looked around to see she was lying on a bed in an unfamiliar room. She also noticed that a tube was attached to her right arm, which was connected to a plastic bag filled with some kind of clear liquid. "What is this?" the girl would ask out loud as she sat up from her bed, now fully awake, but her body was aching in pain and was in complete strain. She also looked down to see she was wearing some light blue gown that reached her ankles. When she wanted to ask more questions, the door to her room opened, revealing what seemed to be a nurse walking inside. "Oh, you're awake, don't worry, I'll get the doctor right away," the nurse said, leaving the room with the confused and anxious silver-haired girl sitting up on the bed staring at the door. "Ah, good, you're finally awake." It's a complete miracle you survived from such injuries even with our doctors that have recovery-type quirks. By the way, my name is Dr. Isshin Kurosaki, the doctor said, sitting beside the silver-haired girl. The girl was confused on what the doctor meant by quirks. Was it their magic? But she couldn't sense a single drop of mana from them. She wanted to get the main questions out of the way first and composed herself first. Well, thank you for healing me, but where exactly am I? Oh, to answer your question, you're in JK hospitals inside the city of Musustafu. Musustafu. She had never heard of such a place, and based on the architectural structure of the building she was in and the building outside, they seemed more structured, and to put it bluntly less crummy, so she knew she wasn't in the Forsaken or Commoner realm. And which country is that in? She asked, feeling the dread in her stomach growing deeper. The doctor looked at her with a confused eyebrow raise, but answered the question nonetheless. It's in Japan, which is in the continent of Asia, the doctor answered, noticing the girl's face go pale with fear. So are there any more questions you would like to ask? This brought the girl out of her thoughts and turned to the doctor. She was cautious about these people because she was in an unknown country in an unknown continent, possibly all alone, but she decided to ask some more questions. Why, yes, I still have more questions like, what happened to me? How long was I out? Was there anyone with me? Also, what did you mean by quirks? The doctor looked at her and seemed to mutter something about amnesia under his breath, but answered her question. For your first question, you were found in the morning on the sidewalk in the middle of a crater, completely injured and unconscious. A civilian saw you and called an ambulance, taking you to this hospital. You've been in a coma for approximately 4 days since we found you, and to answer your third question, you were the only person that was found in the scene. The girl's face seemed to get paler and paler with the information she received. She wanted to cry out in frustration but continued to remain as composed as possible. Now to answer your fourth question about quirks. To put it simply, they are unique supernatural powers that humans are born with. 80% of the world's population has a quirk, while the remaining 20% do not. The doctor explained. Okay. I think I understand. Good. Isshin gave her a reassuring smile. By the way, do you remember anything before you were unconscious? The doctor asked. The girl thought about it for a moment, not sure whether to tell the man what exactly she knew, until she finally answered. No, I don't have any recollection the time before I was unconscious. I see. Do you remember who you are? The doctor asked. I can only remember my name. Noelle Silver, and my quirk, Noelle said as she brought her hand out to see a water ball forming in her palm. I see. Well, don't worry, we'll bring you up to speed later, for now you just relax for today. Isshin said, smiling as he got up and left the room. The moment both the doctor and nurse left the room, Noelle began sobbing uncontrollably. She is alone in a world she doesn't understand and has no idea how everyone else is doing, leaving her nothing to do but sob until she fell asleep and waited for what this world had in store for her. Her last thoughts were that of the first person to accept her lack of magic control, the person who motivated her to get stronger and surpass her limits, and the first person she ever loved. Asta. Over the next couple of days, Noelle would be in the hospital, gradually getting herself together and learning about the world she was in. During those days, Noelle would also be asked more questions by police and doctors, to see if she could remember anything before she was found unconscious on the sidewalk, but Noelle would swiftly lie, saying she didn't know, as she was still cautious of the world she was in, and wanted to learn about it for herself without complicating anything. A factor that made them stop trying to see if Noelle could remember anything was that there was no record anywhere of someone named Noelle Silver, no medical records, school reports, or anything of the sorts, which confused most of the policemen, as they just wondered if this girl came out of nowhere. Eventually, the questioning was stopped completely and Noelle was left to learn more about this new world that she was in. She found it intriguing how technology was so advanced in a world without magic. Considering she couldn't leave the hospital yet, most of her past time was spent doing physical therapy, reading a few fictional books, watching TV, or listening to 80s-style Japanese pop music. As Noelle was listening to some music on her bed, she heard a knock coming from the door. "Come in," the silver-haired girl would answer. The door would open, revealing a gray-haired man wearing glasses and a black suit. He also had a card hanging from his neck that showed his face. "Hey there kiddo, how's it going?" The name Shiru Fujimoto, the said with a large smile on his face. Noelle in turn gave him her own greeting as she watched him sit on a chair close to her bed. "So I guess I should properly introduce myself. As you already heard, my name is Shiru Fujimoto and I am a social service worker. My job is to assist people with certain disadvantages in order for them to live completely functional in society," Shiru said with Noelle nodding to his explanation. "We've already dealt with your living situation after I got the details from the doctors. I'm truly sorry about your situation. I can't imagine how you feel, having no memory of who you are or where you're from," Shiru said with a sympathetic look on his face. It's fine really, so what is my living situation exactly?" Noelle said, wanting to change the subject. "Oh right, well we were able to find you an apartment right here in New Zastfasu, and money will be given to you by the government in order for you to purchase your basic necessities," Shiru said. "That's convenient," Noelle responded. "With that being taken care of, I also need to know what exactly you plan to do next," Shiru asked, with Noelle looking at him with a perplexed expression. After Noelle woke up in this world, and started learning more about it, she wasn't exactly sure what her purpose in this world would be, considering she probably won't be able to go back to her home world. That is until she found the occupation of heroes. In this world, being a hero is the most popular occupation to pursue, but it usually depends on how powerful, useful one's quirk is. Being a hero was the best occupation she could choose, as not only was it similar to being a magic knight, but she was confident her water magic was powerful enough for her to become a pro hero even if didn't currently have her grimoire with her. The damage from the Lucifero fight, the insane amount of magic she used to the borderline life energy she could have lost, and the lack of a grimoire to perform more complex spells resulted in a heavy nerf in Noelle's power. That being said, she still had her insane amount of mana and her control over her water magic has gotten better. She looked in Shiru's directions and gave him an answer. "I want to be a hero," Noelle said with a look of determination on her face. Shiru looked at her for a couple of seconds and then gave a hearty laugh. "Well, I guess it's to be expected that kids these days all want to be heroes. I read that your quirk allows you to produce and manipulate water." "That's right," Noelle said as she lifted up her hand to make 3 baseball-size water balls and shot them out of the opened window at impressive speeds. "Wow, that's a pretty impressive quirk, Noelle, although it wasn't so wise to shoot them out the window as it could have hit someone," Shiru said, causing Noelle to blush in embarrassment. "So going back to the subject of wanting to be a hero, you would have to finish last year of middle school to then take the entrance exam for a hero school of your choosing." "I understand, Mr. Fujimoto," Noelle said with a nod. "Please just call me Shiru. Mr. Fujimoto makes me sound like an old man, but with all that being said, your doctor told me you should be fully discharged by tomorrow, the same day you could also move into your apartment. I'll also get the forms you need in order for you to attend junior high," Shiru said. "Thank you, Shiru," Noelle smiled, grateful that the gray-haired man. "Haha, I'm just doing my job, kiddo," he gave a light chuckle as he stood up, leaving the room. Noelle was now left alone in her room to think about what kind of future the world awaited for her. Time skip 1 week. Over the course of the following week, Noelle had settled into her 1-bedroom apartment. It had a room where her bed, desk and closet was, a bathroom and a small kitchen that was connected to the living room. It was slightly smaller than what Noelle's old room in the Black Bull's base was, but she couldn't really do anything about that. Regardless if she was royalty or not, it wouldn't really matter in this magicless world. It was currently Monday, and this would be the first day that Noelle would be going to junior high, with her wearing the girls' school uniform for Aldera Junior High and walking to the direction of the school. Noelle eventually arrived in the school to meet the teacher that would show her to which classroom she would be spending the remaining year in. Both of them would walk side by side, with the teacher also telling her to come to the staff if she needs help with anything, with Noelle nodding in response. They finally arrived in front of the door to the room Noelle would be in. The teacher opened the door, going inside with Noelle following in suit. I almost forgot, everyone, we have a new student today, please introduce yourself to the class, the homeroom teacher would tell Noelle. The silver-haired girl stepped forward and gave her introduction. My name is Noelle Silver, pleased to meet you, Noelle said without bowing as she looked at everyone in class. She felt a bit nervous with the amount of eyes on her, though lucky for her most of the students gave her a positive response. Hell yeah, we got a hottie in our class, one of the boys would say, causing both Noelle and the girls in the class to look at him in disgust. Well, we're glad to have you in our class. There's an empty seat right beside Izuku Midoriya, the teacher said, pointing to the empty seat beside the green-haired boy named Izuku Midoriya. Noelle walked towards the desk and took her seat, giving a small glance towards the green-haired boy, who quickly looked back to his note when he made eye contact with her. She also noticed an ash blonde-haired boy give her a look as if he was sizing her up and then return to his own business. What's his problem? Noelle would wonder, annoyed, but would be interrupted from her thoughts as the teacher of the class began to speak. Alright everyone, you're all third years now, so you should all consider what you all want to do in future. I have these career aptitude tests, but who am I kidding? I know you all want to become heroes. The teacher would yell out, throwing the papers in the air, which caused the students to show off their quirks besides Noelle, Izuku and the ash blonde-haired boy. A bit unprofessional for a teacher, Noelle would think to herself. Don't lump me in with these losers, teach, they'll all be lucky enough to be sidekicks for some D-list hero, the same ash blonde-haired boy said arrogantly as he smirked towards the teacher. Screw you, Bakugo, don't think just because you got a cool quirk that you're better than us. Various voices of complaints would be directed at the boy named Bakugo, with Bakugo completely ignoring them and telling all of them to shut up. This is going to be a long year, Noelle would think to herself. Bakugo, you plan on going to UA? The teacher would ask, with many of the students looking at Bakugo in disbelief, saying UA is a hard school to get into. That's right, I completely aced the mock test, I'm the only one who stands a chance at getting into UA. I'll surpass All Might and become the richest hero ever, the whole world will know my name. Bakugo would boast arrogantly. Oh yeah, both Silver and Midoriya also want to go to UA as well. When the teacher said that, some eyes land on Noelle, with some speculation making the silver-haired girl uncomfortable. However, the eyes then went to Midoriya, and almost everyone in the class burst out laughing. Midoriya going to UA, yeah right, isn't he quirkless? There's no way he'll get into UA. The students mocked, making the green-haired boy squirm uncomfortably in his seat and making Noelle look at him in surprise. Before Noelle met Asta, she too probably would have mocked or dismissed the possibility of Izuku Midoriya becoming a hero, but now she was more open-minded that people even with disadvantages had potential to possibly reach their dreams. That being said, she was skeptical if he truly had what it takes to become a hero. He seemed very timid and didn't look like he got much exercise. Boom. A loud boom was heard, making Noelle turn towards the sound, seeing Izuku fall out of his chair and Bakugo's hand slammed on Izuku's desk, with smoke coming out of it. The hell you think you're playing at, Deku? You think a quirkless loser like you is better than me or something? Bakugo would yell at Izuku, with small explosions coming from his hand, with Izuku moving back from the angry Pomeranian. No Kaken, I just tea that UA are now allowing quirkless students to take the entrance exam. So I just thought that I could try and be a hero, Izuku would stutter out. Noelle was completely shocked by what she was seeing in front her. Why isn't the teacher doing anything, and who does this idiot think he is? Noelle thought to herself as she looked towards the teacher, intentionally ignoring what. Well, get this through your thick skull, Deku, you're worse than any of these extras here, a quirkless loser like you can't do anything dash. Splash. Bakugo didn't have time to finish his sentence, as he was hit with a small ball of water, making him stumble back from his original threatening position. Everyone turned towards where the water came from to see Noelle now standing in front of Izuku with her arms crossed, and an unimpressed look on her face. Bakugo looked at the girl and his face formed into a furious scowl. Who the hell are you, extra? Bakugo yelled out in fury. Noelle narrowed her eyes and glared at the angry Pomeranian. Well, if you listened to my introduction you would have heard my name is Noelle Silver, Noelle said as she used her hand to frisk her hair back. Bakugu looked at the girl, still pissed that this extra had the audacity to interrupt him when he was putting the quirkless loser in his place. "Get the hell out of my way, extra, I'm not done with that loser." "Or what, Bakugo?" Noelle would give a small smirk as everyone's eyes widened in shock at the insulted name she gave to Bakugu. Bakugu, upon hearing this, was now more pissed than ever as he made explosions in his hand and was about to charge straight towards Noelle, until the teacher finally did his job. "Bakugu, Noelle, both of you stop this at once or else you'll both go to the principal's office." The teacher told both of them as they went back to their seats, but Bakugu gave Noelle one more nasty glare until he finally sat back down. Noelle sat back down and was quite annoyed that her first day of school started out like this. "EMS Silver-san." Noelle turned towards the voice which came from Izuku Midoriya. "Yes, do you need something?" Noelle asked the green-haired boy. "Well, I just wanted to say thank you for standing up me, I'm really grateful for that," Izuku said in appreciation. "HMPH, well it's fine," Noelle said in her classic tsundere tone, although if you look closely you could tell she was happy to help with the small smile she had on her face. Classes were finally over and Noelle was about to leave the classroom and head home until a very familiar voice called out to her. "Hey extra, you and I aren't done talking." ***, what do you want, Bakugo?" Noelle said, annoyed, turning towards the angry Pomeranian standing a good few feet from her, grinding his teeth in rage with his two lackeys behind him. "Listen here, you water bee ***H. I'm the top dog in this school, so don't you dare think you're a big shot cause you got a lucky shot, and also don't think of applying to UA. I'm the only one in this lame school who actually has what it takes to get into UA, so both you and that quirkless loser shouldn't get any funny ideas." Bakugu demands, still angry from the early humiliation. Noelle, hearing, was now pissed. Just who does this guy think he is? I guess it just goes to show that people drunk on power are nothing but massive pricks, Noelle would think to herself as she noticed that the students that haven't left had their eyes on both her and Bakugu, with those students including Izuku as well. This made the girl annoyed until she got an idea in her head. "HMPH, and why would I listen to an annoying insect? Are you scared I'm better than you?" Noelle said in her own arrogant tone as she frisked her hair back like before. Every student that was watching them had their eyes pop out of their sockets when they heard the new girl say that. No one in their school, much less their classroom, would actually dare challenge Bakugu because he was the strongest person in their school. Bakugu in question also looked at her in shock for just a split second until his rage had hit a boiling point, and he charged at her with an explosion ready in his hand. Dai dash. ***splash ***wham***. Bakugu was shot back against the wall as Noelle released a high-pressurized stream of water from her hand. That was so fast Bakugu didn't have time to react, resulting in him to slam against the wall, knocking him out unconscious. "No way she beat Bakugu in one hit," a random student would say. "I can't believe it," this time one of Bakugu's lackeys would say, not believing that this new girl took out Bakugu in just one shot. "Whoa, guess we got a new top dog in the school," another random student would say, causing many people to cheer, compliment and just in general suck up to Noelle. What's there to be happy about? You all made fun of someone simply because they didn't have a quirk. Not only that, but you all saw that insect constantly bully someone and none of you decided to do anything about it. And you say you want to be heroes? Pathetic. Noelle would say in a cold, icy tone, causing everyone hearing this to look down in shame and some of them even scowl in anger, but were in no position to say anything as they all knew she was right. Noelle would then leave the classroom and walk out the hallway to head home, but she stopped to hear a familiar voice calling her. MHA Silver-san. Noelle turned around to see Izuku Midoriya looking at her nervously and fiddling with his fingers. "Your name was Izuku, right? Do you need something?" Noelle asked. "Yes, I just wanted to say thank you for stopping Kaken from his bullying, although don't you think you were a bit harsh with everyone?" the green-haired boy would ask. Noelle had a really look on her face as she had to wonder why he would just let stuff like that slide, although if she was being honest with herself before she joined the Black Bulls, she wouldn't do anything about the constant abuse from her older siblings because she couldn't control her magic, which resulted in a lack of self-esteem. When Noelle got a good look at Izuku, he reminded her of herself. A person who was bullied and mocked because they didn't have a quirk, bringing the person's self-esteem to practically zero, creating this shy, timid boy in front of her. No, I don't think I was harsh. People who have power and bully those weaker than them are pathetic, and it's even worse that the students in my class all want to be heroes. A job that requires you to risk your life to protect the weak. A bunch of hypocrites if you ask me, Noelle said in a matter-of-factly tone. I see, Izuku said as he looked down, as everything she said was right, but Izuku always wanted to see the best in people. He was brought out of his thoughts from Noelle's voice. So you're also going to UA, how's that going so far? Noelle asked the green-haired boy. Huh? Izuku was genuinely confused when Noelle asked that question. I said you're going to UA, how's that going so far? Noelle asked, slightly annoyed with the response she got. Oh yeah, I think it's going great. I've been studying really hard on different kinds of subjects, and I've been studying quirks, their strengths, weakness, what best scenarios to put them in dash. Izuku continued to mumble more and more about quirks, which made weird Noelle a bit and made her more annoyed. I get it, Izuku, Noelle would say in an irate tone. Oh sorry, I just get carried away sometimes. Sign it's whatever, good luck on your training then, Noelle said as she was about to walk of the hallway. Training? Izuku would ask, confused. What? Noelle stopped abruptly to turn around and look at Izuku, confusion written all over her face. Well, what did you exactly mean by training? Izuku would ask the silver-haired girl. Noelle looked almost shocked with what Izuku just said. He doesn't actually think he'll get into the hero course by just studying alone, does he? The water mage would think to herself. Izuku, you do know as a hero you're going to have to fight villains and rescue civilians from villains and different types of disasters, right? You would need to prepare your body deal with those situations, otherwise you would be deadweight when trying to work with other heroes, or at the very least be completely useless when working on your own, Noelle would say bluntly. Izuku, hearing this, would have his eyes bug out in realization, then he would look down in shame. I didn't think about that. I guess it's things like this is the reason Kaken would bully, huh? Izuku said in shame and embarrassment because he overlooked something so obvious. Noelle, seeing this, would immediately feel bad as she didn't want to see the kid be all depressed, and she would think of a way to end the conversation on a somewhat high note. Well, I guess you should use this time to train as hard. There isn't any shame in being weak, Izuku, staying weak is, remember that. Noelle would say as she would walk off, leaving Izuku wide-eyed at her words and then bring forth a determined look in his eyes. Noelle would walk out of the school and make it to her apartment where she would do her homework, bathe and read some shoujo manga. She thanked the gods that the internet was created because it taught her how to cook simple foods without burning anything, as she did when she tried to cook back in the Clover Kingdom. She wouldn't know of the sludge villain incident until she turned on the TV to see the new report. Bakugo was caught by the sludge villain, which caused Izuku to try and free him, almost getting himself killed, but thankfully the number one hero All Might was there to save both Izuku and Bakugo and was also able to capture the sludge villain. That idiot, what was he thinking going in there without a plan? No, what was he thinking going in there at all? Was he trying to get himself killed? Noelle would think to herself in both shock, anger, and concern for her classmate. She would soon calm down as the situation was already taken care of. Noelle would then look at the number one hero fleeing the press. So that's the number one hero All Might, huh? Noelle would think to herself as she changed the channel to something else while finishing her dinner and going to sleep. Time skip 10 months. It's been 10 months since Noelle has been transferred into Aldera Junior High, and for the first 2 weeks of her transfer were some of the most annoying periods of her life, courtesy of the blonde loudmouth Pomeranian in her class. Ever since Noelle easily defeated Bakugo, he would constantly try to challenge her to show that he was the top dog in the school, but the result would always be the same. Noelle was just faster, stronger, and overall had a power that was a perfect counter to Bakugo's. At the end of the 2 weeks, Bakugo seemed to have gotten the message and didn't try to challenge her anymore and would for the most part ignore her, or call her some rude names, but Noelle didn't really pay attention to him. Noelle also made two amazing friends called Rin Tosaka and Kotatsu Tamaki. Both of these girls were from different classes and the three of them spent most of their time together after school. Noelle found herself very lucky to have such amazing friends that prevented the loneliness she didn't know she had ever since her transfer. I gotta admit, Noelle, your quirk is insanely versatile for almost any situation, Tamaki would say as all three girls were in Takoba Municipal Beach Park that was now completely clean, with Noelle using her quirk to manipulate the water by creating 3 water tornadoes that were 30 feet tall and 8 feet wide. She had been keeping these tornadoes up for 15 minutes, doing her best not to let her concentration slip. She tried to create a fourth one, but it was too much for her to control, resulting in the tornadoes stopping. Pant thanks Tamaki, although I still need better control of manipulating the water. Hey, don't push yourself too much. From what I've seen, your quirk may even be strong enough to surpass All Might. Rin would chime in, making the silver-haired girl smile. By the way, how's your studying going? Rin would ask. It's actually been going better thanks to you. My grades improved from a 70% to 80%, so I think I'm gonna be set when I take the UA entrance exams tomorrow, Noelle would respond. Giggle please feel free to praise me some more, Rin would say, making all three girls giggle in amusement. Well, I guess I'll head home now, gotta prepare for tomorrow, said Noelle as she waved goodbye to her two friends. It's been 10 months since I've arrived in this world and I'm gradually gaining my original strength, although it's still at a slow rate. I may even get stronger as I use my magic without the use of a grimoire as I continue to polish and sharpen my skills. And if by some chance I am able to find my grimoire, I wonder how strong will I be then? The silver-haired girl would ask herself. I truly can't believe it's been 10 months since arriving in this world without magic, and I'm going to take an exam to be a superhero tomorrow. I'm kind of excited to show the examiners just what I'm capable of, Noelle would say in her head as she walked into her apartment to prepare for tomorrow. It was the day of the UA entrance exams and Noelle was currently on the bus heading toward the UA building. She had her headphones and was listening to music on her smartphone that Shiru got her as a way to contact him. As Noelle was listening to her music, she looked out the window to see the UA building as the bus was getting closer to its stop. Noelle felt some nervousness and a little bit of excitement as she hoped she would get to show how much her control over her magic has improved. The bus finally stopped with passengers getting off and Noelle walking towards the UA building. As she was getting closer, she got a better look at the building and was quite impressed at what she saw. The building is a lot bigger than I thought when looking at it up close, Noelle would think to herself. She was about to continue walking until she heard an annoyingly familiar voice. You! Bakugo yelled out to the silver-haired girl. Really, Bakugo, can't you go one day without having to be so annoying? Noelle said in a very annoyed tone as she really didn't want to deal with Bakugo's antics right. Bakugo wanted to send an explosion towards but had to calm himself as he didn't want to ruin his chance at getting into UA. TCH, just shut and stay out of my way. I'm the one taking the #1 spot in this exam. Bakugo declared as he walked past the silver-haired girl, grumbling something to himself. Noelle's mood was slightly ruined from her encounter with Bakugo but decided to continue walking, until she heard another familiar voice behind her. Thanks for saving me from that fall, Izuku would say with a noticeable blush on his face as there was another girl beside him. She had brown hair, a pretty face with big brown eyes, and was wearing a girl's uniform from a different school. It's no problem, after all it's bad luck to trip and fall before an exam, the girl would say in a bubbly tone with Izuku nodding in agreement. Both Izuku and the girl exchanged a few more words until the girl ran off to the building, passing Noelle. Izuku made eye contact with Noelle and gave her a welcoming smile. Oh, morning Silver-san, morning Izuku. They both greeted each other and decided to walk together to the auditorium where the entrance exams will take place. So Silver-san, how do you think you're going to do in the exams? The green-haired boy asked the water mage. I'm gonna pass, Noelle would state as if it were a fact, not a single bit of doubt found in her voice. And what about you? How do you think you're gonna do? Noelle asked Izuku. Izuku hesitated with what he would say but finally gave his answer. Well, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm definitely going to give it my all, Izuku would say with as much confidence as he could muster. Noelle nodded at the response, and the both of them finally made it to the auditorium, and found Bakugo already sitting at the section for their school, much to Noelle's dismay, as she really didn't want to sit anywhere near the angry Pomeranian. What made it tolerable was the fact that Izuku was the one that was actually sitting beside Bakugo. Welcome ladies and gentlemen to the UAS entrance exam. I will be your host, Present MIC, can I get a yeah? Present MIC would say in the microphone, only to be met with complete silence. Tough crowd, huh? Well, that's a-okay. Present MIC would yell out to the crowd, doing his best to recover from that awkward silence. Oh my gosh, it's the vocal hero Present MIC, I listen to him on the radio almost every day. Izuku would begin to fanboy with Bakugo telling him to shut up and Noelle signing at the green-haired boy. Gosh, the guy really loves heroes, huh? The water mage would think to herself as she went back to listen to what the vocal hero was about to say. Now, to not waste any more time, let me explain how these exams work. There are two parts to this exam, the written portion and the practical portion. The written portion will be taken first and has a time limit of 1 hour and 30 minutes. The practical portion of the exam consists of immobilizing robots in order to earn what we call villain points. How this works is that all of you have been given an ID card that tells you which training ground you'll go to in order to take the practical portion of the exam. Present MIC said as the screen then changed to show a picture of 4 different types of robots, each having one number on them from 0 to 3. So me, Izuku and Bakugo are all going to be in different training grounds. Well, at least I won't have to deal with the explosion maniac, Noelle thought to herself as she glanced at Izuku's card, with Bakugo confirming it. Now, once in your designated training grounds, you are to destroy or immobilize these 3 robots. The numbers on the robots are the amount of points you earn once the robots are immobilized. The 1-pointer robots are generally the easiest to immobilize, with the 3-pointer robots being the hardest. Present MIC yelled out. He was about to continue until he was interrupted by a tall, dark blue-haired student wearing glasses standing up from his seat. Excuse me, I have a question. In the handout there are clearly 4 villains listed. Such an error is an embarrassment on UA's part. The reason we are seated here today is because we seek guidance to become model heroes, the boy said. Seriously, this guy seems a bit uptight for a mistake if you ask me, Noelle thought to herself. And you, the one with the green curly hair, he said, pointing to Izuku Midoriya. Stop moving around and distracting everyone, this is a hero exam, so take this seriously, he finally said. Sorry, Izuku would weakly reply to the blue-haired boy. Okay, now that was completely uncalled for, the water mage thought to herself. She would have said something if it weren't for Present MIC replying to the blue-haired boy's question. Well, I was just about to explain what the 4th robot is until you interrupted me. The 4th robot, also known as the 0-pointer, is basically a giant difficult obstacle that you might run into when taking the exam. However, you won't earn any points if you do decide to immobilize the robot. Present said towards the blue-haired student. Thank you, the same student said and sat back down in his seat. Also, attacking other students would result in immediate disqualification. Now that the rules and regulations of the exam have been explained, let's start this exam and go plus ultra. Present MIC would yell out with the students going to their designated rooms to take their written exam. Almost 2 hours later. Noelle was currently in her designated training ground with other students that were assigned in the same area. Noelle was wearing a light lavender tracksuit with a white line at the side of the joggers and hoodie. She was also wearing white sneakers and had her hair tied in a ponytail. I have to admit, this training area is really impressive. If I didn't know beforehand, I would have said it looked like any other city. I guess it makes sense that the #1 hero school in this country would have the best facilities, Noelle would think to herself looking around the fake city. I'm really glad I don't have to deal with that angry Pomeranian. It's here, gods so help me if I hear him say die. The silver-haired mage would inwardly groan in annoyance as Noelle started stretching her limbs to undo the kinks and joints in her body, with some other students doing the same thing. And start. The voice of Present MIC from the speakers could be heard snapping the students out of whatever they were doing. The moment Noelle heard Present MIC say start, she began to activate her magic. Reinforcement magic, leg strength boost, Noelle would inwardly say to herself as her legs begin to give a light glow blue that wasn't noticeable, because it was daytime, and Noelle would dash towards the city at incredible speeds, leaving some of the students dumbfounded on what to actually do. Well, what are you waiting for? There are no countdowns in a real battle, Go! 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 Time is running out. Present MIC would say in his MIC as the student would now begin to rush inside the fake city to look for robots to destroy. Noelle already got a pretty good distance ahead of her peers and came face to face with both a 2-pointer robot and a 1-pointer villain robot. Target acquired, must eliminate dash, the villain robots would say in union as they charged at the silver-haired mage with their weapons. Noelle didn't need to be told twice for what she needed to do. She brought her 2 hands up and positioned her fingers in a way that looked like finger guns. 2 balls of water the size of her head were formed from her fingertips and bang! Noelle would playfully say as she shot the balls of water towards the 1- and 2-pointer robots at the speed of a moving bullet. Asterisk crash asterisk asterisk slash asterisk. These were the sounds when the 2 orbs of water hit the robots. The attack was so powerful and fast that the water went right through the robots, stopping the robots completely. Easy 3 points, nice, Noelle would think to herself as she went ahead on the street she was in, then turned around a corner to find a 3-pointer robot. Target ACQU dash. Before the robot could find its command, Noelle already had her 2 hands out, and shot a high-pressurized stream of water towards the 3-pointer robot, completely ripping it into shreds, earning the water mage 6 points. Let's kick this up a notch, Noelle would say out loud as she reactivated her reinforcement magic to her legs and jumped to the top of the nearest building, while shooting water from her hands to make it seem like that was the reason she got so much altitude. Noelle looked down, seeing both the students and villain robots. Good, I have the high ground. Now I don't have to waste time running to look for points, Noelle would think to herself as 5 large balls of water would float around her waiting to be fired at the villain robots. Aran, go! Noelle yelled with the water balls rocketing towards the different robots. Asterisk crash asterisk asterisk splash asterisk. Asterisk crash asterisk asterisk splash asterisk. Asterisk crash asterisk asterisk splash asterisk. Were the sounds of robots being destroyed. Noelle was able to destroy 2 3-pointer robots, 2 2-pointer robots and a 1-pointer robot, earning her a total of 17 points. This is way more effective than I thought. Let's move to the next building. Noelle used the same method to get to another building and began destroying more robots, but this time she wanted to be more creative with her water magic. When she found a 2-pointer robot, she sent a crescent water blade using her water creation magic to slice the 2-pointer in half. The next robot she encountered was a 3-pointer, to which instead of firing any water attacks, she trapped the robot in a very large ball of water, causing the robot to short-circuit and break, earning her more points. After going from building to building and destroying different types of robots from a distance, our favorite water mage was able to earn a total of 82 points. Monitor room. I must say we've got quite a batch of promising students. A tall muscular man with short grey hair, wearing a red suit that had white gloves and boots, would say, being impressed as he watched the various students destroy the robots. This person being Sekijiro Khan, also known as the pro hero Vlad King. He was seating the teachers of UA, watching the students from different schools take out the villain robots on the large TV monitors. Indeed, so far these students seem to have traits in the making of great heroes. Came the voice of a tall man that had grey skin and also had the facial features akin to a block of cement. This person was Ken Ishiyama, also known as the hero Cementos. Most of the teachers agreed with what he was saying as they continued watching the students. Holy crap, look at that kid go, said a man wearing a cowboy hero costume and a mask on his face. This man was known as the pro hero Snipe. The reason for his outburst was because he saw a kid holding an abnormally large sword one-shotting every villain robot he came across, but he was moving at such high speeds that he looked like a blur when he moved. He was moving so fast that even other students seemed both confused and surprised at someone moving so fast. Yeah, he's pretty fast. I think he got as many points as that girl with the water quirk. Who is that kid anyways? Came a slightly distorted female voice from a person wearing a white spacesuit. This person was Anan Kuros, also known as the Pro Hero 13. Some of the cameras aren't able to get a clear picture of him. Oh well, we could look at his profile later, was the response of a tall slender man that wore a light brown trench coat, and had a black mask with golden lines that covered all his head to his neck. This was the Pro Hero Ectoplasm. My, there seems to be another one that's just as talented, came the voice of a curvaceous woman, with long spiky dark purple hair and wore dominatrix hero custom. This was Nemirai Kiyoma, also known as the Pro Hero Midnight. The UA staff turned to where she was looking to see a boy with black hair creating a large tornado to suck in the Villian robots and shred them to pieces. The teachers were impressed at the capabilities of these students, but 3 of the teachers looked at 3 students with analytical eyes. All of the students in this exam have done well so far, but let's see how they handle this. Came the male voice from a short humanoid animal that was the combination of a mouse, bear and dog wearing a suit, as he then pressed a red button. Back with Noelle. 1 minute and 30 seconds left, yelled Present Mick. 82 points, not bad if I do say so myself. I think that should be enough. Poi dash. Noelle's thoughts were interrupted when a loud thud was heard, sending vibrations across the ground. It's the 0-pointer. A random student would yell as Noelle's student turned around to see a giant robot that towered over some of the buildings in the fake city, heading towards the students. Crap, there's no way we can take that, another random student would yell as students started running away from the 0-pointer to get to somewhere safe. So this is the 0-pointer, it's not really impressive compared to an ancient demon. Still no point in fighting the thing if I'm not gonna get points, Noelle thought to herself as she too was about to run, until she heard a voice call out for her. Please someone help me, a female voice would call out. Noelle turned around to see a bob-cut brown hair girl that kind of looked like a mushroom had her leg trapped under some rubble, with the 0-pointer getting closer, bumping into a building and sending the rubble falling down to hit the trapped girl. Noelle steeled her gaze and used her reinforcement magic to jump towards the girl at speed so fast she couldn't be seen by the untrained eye. Water creation magic, Sea Dragon's Nest. Noelle yelled as a water barrier was created surrounding both Noelle and the girl she just saved, with the rubble from the building bouncing off the barrier. Are you all right? Noelle would ask the girl. What? Yes, I'm fine, thank you, the girl would reply to the silver hair mage, surprised that she saw a girl come out of nowhere and created a water barrier to save her. Noelle was so preoccupied by the incoming 0-pointer robot that she didn't realize that she used an advanced spell when she didn't have her grimoire. 1 minute left. Present Mic yelled out the remaining time of the practical exam. The 0-pointer continued moving towards the students, destroying more parts of the building in the process. Hey, can you walk? Noelle would ask, getting the rubble off the brown-haired girl. No, my ankle is sprained. The girl responded to Noelle's question as she saw the 0-pointer heading closer to them, with panic beginning to build up inside her. Noelle, seeing her starting to panic, would think of a way to get both of them to safety. Don't worry, it's gonna be all right, Noelle said as she used her water magic to surround both her and the girl in a large bubble of water with air inside for them to breathe. Noelle would then manipulate the water to float both her and the girl away from the 0-pointer. Maybe it's best to get rid of the 0-pointer to prevent any more casualties, the silver-haired mage thought to herself. Noelle would then get out of the bubble and move towards the 0-pointer, surprising the brown-haired girl as she continued to float to a safe location. Hey, wait, what are you doing? The girl would yell towards Noelle, but her words would fall on deaf ears. Some of the students seeing this would be surprised by what they were seeing, with some even voicing out their opinions. What's that girl doing, is she crazy? A random student would yell out, however Noelle didn't hear them, nor would she really care even if she did hear them. 30 seconds left. Present Mic voiced out the remaining time. The 0-pointer was coming in fast, but Noelle didn't look fazed in the slightest. Noelle gathered mana in her hands and looked at the 0-pointer with calculating eyes. If you're some tough obstacle, then let's see how you handle this. Noelle yelled out as she brought her hands in front her with the palms facing the 0-pointer and gathered water to create the head of a dragon. Water creation magic, water dragon. Noelle yelled as the water dragon's head shot forward towards the 0-pointer, with a high-pressure volume of water trailing from the water dragon's head. The size of the water dragon increased and made a direct hit to the 0-pointer robot. Asterisk tear asterisk asterisk splash asterisk asterisk thud asterisk. Were the sounds made when the water dragon hit the 0-pointer, ripping of the robot's body off and sending the remaining pieces scattered back across the fake city. Every student who saw this had their jaws dropped at the sheer power that was just displayed in front of their eyes. Did that girl just? There's no way. Holy crap. Came the disbelief voices of students still trying to process what they just saw. Even the girl that Noelle had saved was in complete shock and awe at what she just saw. Noelle made it back to the water bubble with the girl still inside and slowly dispersed her magic, making the girl stand on her own 2 feet. Hey, how's your leg? Noelle asked the brown-haired girl. What? Oh well, it's still sprained, but I can stand, the girl replied with Noelle nodding in response. And time's up. Present MIC would yell into the microphone alerting the students that the practical exam was over. Well, I guess that the exam is over. Do you need help to find the nurse's office? That won't be necessary, these medic robots will take you to recovery girl, came the voice of a random UA staff member with 2 medical robots behind. The girls turned to the man and the brown-haired girl went with the medical robots, but before she could leave she turned to Noelle. By the way, I just wanna say thanks again for saving me, the way you took out the 0-pointer was awesome. The girl exclaimed with so much enthusiasm. You're welcome, Noelle said smiling as she turned around to leave the training ground. I hope to see her again. Oh crap, I forgot to ask for her name, the girl Noelle saved thought to herself, but wasn't too disheartened by the fact as she figured she would see her again if she got into UA. Monitor room. Holy crap, these students are complete monsters, Snipe would exclaim as he saw the feat Noelle performed, with many of the other teachers agreeing with him. However, they were even more stunned when 3 other students not only destroyed the 0-pointer robot but were also able to save another student. They saw Izuku Midoriya jump right at the 0-pointer and punch the robot so hard that it was pushed back a good distance, and crushed from the force of Izuku's punch, but it did result in his arm being broken. The next student was the grey-haired boy who jumped at the 0-pointer and sliced the robot in half straight from the middle, and the black-haired student sent a large tornado from his hand, completely shedding the tornado into pieces. I couldn't agree with that statement more. What do you think, Principal Nezu? Vlad King would ask the humanoid animal now known as Nezu, aka the principal of UA. I think we're certainly going to have our work cut out for us in order to train the next generations of heroes. Nezu spoke with a little bit of excitement in his voice. These kids, their quirks, a man with long black hair, a black suit and a long white scarf wrapped around neck, thought to himself in curiosity as he continued looking at the monitor, specifically at Noelle and the 2 mysterious boys. 1 week later. It's been a week since the silver-haired mage took the UA entrance exam, and she was currently reading some shoujo manga on her couch with a small blush on her face. ****, I wish Asta and I were the ones kissing, Noelle thought to herself as the redness in her cheeks increased. Her thoughts became slightly more perverted as she imagined shirtless, exposing his ripped muscles with him casually lying on her bed. Well, Noelle, what are you waiting for? Come join me. What are you talking about, Bebekasta? Noelle stuttered out, her face fully flushed from both his words and the sexiness in his voice. Asta got off the bed and slowly walked to her. He grabbed her waist with his hand and brought her closer to him. Hey Asta, what are you doing? Noelle said, both embarrassed and a little bit eager about this current scenario. It's all right, Noelle, I'll take good care of you, Asta said in a husky voice as he closed his eyes and brought his face closer to Noelle's, wanting to kiss her. Noelle didn't stop it and she too closed her eyes and brought her face closer, ready to kiss Asta. Asterisk ding dong asterisk. Asterisk ding dong asterisk. Kaya, Noelle gave a small screech as she was brought out of her intimate daydream from the sound of her doorbell. Geez, who the hell's at the door? Noelle thought in annoyance as she went to open the front door. "Hello, I'm looking for Noelle Silver," the person Noelle assumed to be the postman asked her. "That would be me," the water mage answered. "Ah well, this letter is for you, have a nice day," the postman said as he gave her a letter and left the apartment. Noelle looked at the letter and saw that it was addressed from UA. Noelle went back to her couch in the living room and opened the letter. She was confused when found a disc inside the envelope. "What is this?" Noelle said as she was inspecting the disc and was surprised by what happened next. "I am here in hologram form, a hologram of the number one hero All Might appear from the disc." All Might, is he teaching at UA, the silver-haired mage thought to herself. "It took some time to get everyone's results in order, but we were finally to contact you, and we have to say, young Silver, we were quite impressed with what we've seen. First, let's talk about your results in the written exam." All Might said as Noelle paid close attention with what he was about to say next. "In the written exam you scored an impressive 89% out of 100. As heroes' brains are just as important as brawns, so excellent work, young Silver," All Might said with a thumbs up, making the silver-haired girl smile from the praise she was receiving. Now on to the practical part of the exam. During the practical portion of the exam you were a total of 82 points, already earning more than the passable cut-off points. However, there was more to the practical exam than what the teachers lead you to believe. More to the exam. What is he talking about? UA is a hero school after all, because of that we look to reward students who put themselves in harm's way for another individual. All Might said as a video of Noelle was shown saving the brown-haired giving. With your heroic action you earned a secret set of points known as rescue points. These points are added to your current set of villain points. The amount of points you were given were decided from the teaching staff based on how heroic your actions were. Noelle continued looking at the hologram, anticipation building up inside her. Young Silver, you earned a total of 62 rescue points. Adding that to your villain points, you earned a total of 144 points. All Might said. Noelle for her part was pretty shocked she earned so many points. Not only did you get third place among all the students, but you even broke my previous record of 111 points. Congratulations, young Silver, we welcome you to your hero academia, All Might said, giving a welcoming bow as the hologram disappeared. Nice, I passed and got into UA, although who were the two people who got first and second place? Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter, I'll probably see them once I actually enter the school, Noelle thought to herself, not thinking about much of it. Noelle called Rin and Tamaki, telling them she got into UA, placing third out of all students, and they decided to celebrate by eating out. Noelle during the next couple of days would get all her stuff prepared and ready for her first day in UA High.